and then the lighting capabilities. That's been a fun part this week. Well, what you have is your system was updated a couple years ago to all new LED fixtures and control. Then we augmented that and added some new lighting fixtures, rehung the fixtures that were provided to have a more logical approach to lighting the stage. And I think we came up with more cool results. So kind of the concept with LED lighting, they operate a little bit different than your traditional lighting. So with LED lighting, you kind of have to turn the lights on to get started. Or another light plugged in, you just bring up the dimmer and the lights. So every light fixture in here has like a little tiny microprocessor and dimming all on board. So that's a lot of systems, so you want to keep those off when not in use. And we'll show you how that functionality works, which is why we kind of have to keep it, all the lighting functionality through the console. So with that, Ashley, would you like to take it away?
Would you be against me putting that closer so I could just watch the board?
So what we did was we did a almost complete wipe of all of the fixtures, and we repatched everything and rewrote playbacks, which I'll get into how to record that later. So what we did was we created the magic sheet so that it made sense. And so now we have almost perfect replica of what fixtures are available, and you can turn on and off. So here we have our 1, 2, 3, and our 7 and 8 are the pars that we have for the front of the stage. And we have our down light and our upstage light. And then we have our movers on the sides, and then our other pars to get kind of that the wall area where it gets a little dark. And then we have our top light here. We could kind of call that our upstage, and then here is our downstage. And the sides here are kind of that extra where it gets a little dark on the sides. And then all up here we have our cyc lights, which are now in order, and with it like the patching would read left to right. So it is in order now.
It was not the last couple of years.
So Ashley,
Yeah, it was
if I looked at that, where would the stage be? Up on top here or down lower here?
down lower. So literally you could pick this up and put it picture right
so
there.
The purple is the closest to the stage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, those are little color lights in the back.
Yes.
The wall lights.
The wall lights are the purple, aren't they?
Yep. And then here, as you have all of the numbers here, they also correlate to all of these channels here. So I can, and it does light up when you select it, and you can turn it off.
You show actually where the channel mode is.
Where the channel mode is, you would just press this here. So I was in playback, which highlights purple. Here, it would highlight blue. So, yeah, the cool thing about all of these is that they do light up with the colors that you choose. And
that's usually that's visual and goes on the button and the screens. Purple on top is that's the color resulted right now.
And then with the color changing, we have the color wheel, and you can kind of see.
How it changes on there.
You can kind of see that it changes color with the color wheel.
Which one is light 1 out there?
Light 1 is right
right there,
there
I see the
where
red.
it
Oh, the red.
Okay.
highlights the red, yeah.
Perfect.
Do that with the psych actually.
Do that with the psych, so here.
These are all your back ones, perfect. We're getting ideas, aren't we?
That's cool.
And there's also cycles that you could do. I know that.
Yeah.
You can program like a cycle to
Like-
run
Yeah.
through a
Uh-huh.
certain color.
Yeah, cool effects.
You want like a rainbow, it'll just go right through the rainbow.
Anthony was having too much fun with this.
I was
Okay, so now with these here, and then I mentioned the playbacks, which are also listed here. So you won't see any labels on the board, but you'll see them here on the display. And we kind of have some stuff set up for you. So we can turn up and down on these. So we have the normal front, which is our essentially 6 areas. So we have the 3 that show the stage left, stage right, and stage center. And then we have the 3 in the middle there that are the upstage, stage left, stage right, stage center. And then we have the full front. And the good thing about this is that you can mix these playbacks, so it's not just one or the other.
What do you mean by playback?
So these are called playbacks, which we use them as palettes, so that you can bring up a certain look that you want.
Back in the day, we'd have a subgroup on the old console,
Mhm.
and then like a subgroup, we could have multiple channels.
Working at once.
Okay.
And
Ashley doesn't know that term.
I know submasters.
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 There you go.
And then with our looks, we also have our red top and red psych, and then we have our green, and we have our blue, which gives us our red, green, blue, and we can also mix those. We can mix all different looks.
Those are all under the playbacks, right?
Yes, these are all under playbacks. And then we also have effects, which you can change in here. We have our colors, shape, intensity, which kind of gives us the strobe. And then we have our color wheel, which I showed you. And we have some kind of here for
That's cool.
disco,
Yes.
which we can change.
It almost looks like a honeycomb.
Can you make it look like snow?
We kind of can.
That's awesome.
We kind of can with the right gobo and the right look. The gobo is what shapes the light. So we have 2 gobo wheels.
Oh, we're going to somehow.
The form shop.
Form show's definitely using that.
Which you can find in the beam, not the color, but the beam category.
Okay.
And you can rotate, which is what they're doing now, and you can change the speed here.
Nice.
And
That's a little
you
too
can
trippy.
you can change the focus,
Oh, that's cool.
and you can also change the I don't want to say frame, but almost like a frame. And then there's also frost, which I
Kind
mean,
of fun.
it's a little thing.
So, I like that. That could be like a semi-stormy night or something like that.
Oh, true.
You can do
That'd be a stormy night.
we can really cool, create like a cool water effect. You can just
Yeah.
palette is huge.
Yeah. You could. Now, can you change the color of that as it's going on too?
Yes.
So you can make it blue to make it look like you're underwater.
Exactly.
Yes, and you can also find them in the colors. Now, with the movers, you can't change them like LEDs because they have set colors within them. So with
color wheel as opposed to individual colors.
So you only get certain colors.
I mean, you get your full rainbow. You get your full rainbow including the magenta
Drum-
and the light blue
Drumline for the blue.
and pink.
Okay.
So you get your full rainbow, you just can't necessarily color mix to maybe a pale pink or something.
It's like Skittles.
Right, like Skittles, yeah. Now,
Just show them some of the other looks of the
oh yeah,
playbacks there.
playbacks.
So what we'd like to introduce is more the capabilities of the light, just to get your mind working on what the possibilities are. We thought a nice addition for your auditorium is a couple of moving fixtures that then help augment whatever you're doing. Kind of create an atmosphere, create a different look, create some excitement. These things go ahead and throw up the wild chase. So they can. We even have a hazer in the room that you can generate some haze, and if this hits a little bit of haze or atmosphere, then you get a whole light show.
This is under playback.
This is under playback, yes.
Are those controllable, or are they just going to do what they're doing right
They
now?
can, so with the effects, that the shape that's running is paisley. So you have all these other shapes that you can do, and the color thing, right now is it's spinning around on the color wheel, and then you can change the speed of the spin. So it's kind of changing very, very slowly.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can change the speed, and you can also change the speed of the effect.
That cool look at the sidewall.
Oh.
What was that look with the sidewall?
Oh, the sidewall, the screen.
Screens, I'm sorry.
So that's another gobo, and one gobo rotates. The first gobo rotates, the second one does not.
Well, the gobo wheel, of
go-
that wheel, you have 8 gobos. So once again, we're introducing kind of a potential that if it does this, what else does it do? Because there's different wheels that rotate. There's 8 different looks of the gobos, and then there's another gobo wheel of 8 static gobos. And then you combine that with movement patterns, and you just got a pattern. Or you can take them to white and have a fine spot that you can direct anywhere on stage. And with that frost thing she shows you, that's suitable for lighting a person. So you can light people with that. Like a solo, intense special. Wham! There's your light. That's dramatic effect, almost like a ball stop. So.
Well, and even there's an iris on these gobos that allows you to put even more focus on the person. So, like so. So you can shape these, and yeah, and then to make them kind of stop would be open and open. So you can single out a person and spot them like that.
Okay. Iris sat down. How was the iris look on that?
If that person walks up on stage, can you follow
There
them?
you go.
You can go.
If that person walks up on stage, can you follow them?
And well, kind of, sort of. There is a trackball that you can add that'll make that a lot easier.
Do we still have our side spots?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
When you
Our
say
side
our big
spots,
spotlights,
we're still
that's what
keeping
we're still
those.
using.
Okay.
There's a couple follow spots. I haven't had a chance to go through
But,
how well they
but we
work.
still have to use those.
Yeah, you need a follow spot for that.
So these are strictly basically the sides right now,
Yeah.
just the walls.
Yeah. So let's give you.
But you could put someone up there while you're doing stage change.
Right.
you know, if you've got narrator or something like that.
Are
Yeah.
they-
That one's not on the front.
You covered all the areas and colors, right?
I couldn't do
There's another psych effects. That's that's part of the first gobo wheel.
See, I love that. Let me jump on stage.
Not as much as this.
Do the downstage center.
David, you should go stand on stage so you can see what it's like with a.
He's gonna go do that.
Oh, okay.
Downstage center.
So our downstage center.
Stage, well, it was 5.
Well, no, so now I'm in channel mode. Because right,
Yeah, it isn't getting shadows there.
Can you spot him with that single white like you did on the sides?
And that's what we use these for.
Yeah.
No.
well, and what you can do, we'll say an actor or actress is walking across the stage, you can set a playback to that, and just fade it up as slowly as you can until they get to that area. So that's an idea. And I didn't realize that you meant all stage center, because you said downstage.
That's what I meant downstage. So,
Well, oh, okay, so I
yeah,
was.
with the intent that you could actually be downstage and really not affect the projection. And
Yeah, there was no shadow, which was
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and then with that, we have our downstage palette, which is number 5, which is these 3 lights there. And then we have upstage, which is our 3 down there. And then we also have our stage right, stage center, stage left.
Those are all clearly marked on the.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, those are labeled here.
so what she's demonstrating now is the way I envision
Yeah.
anyone to come in here and bring up lights on the stage.
Yeah.
Turn on the board, turn on the relays.
So our independents are essentially our relays that you do have to turn off and on when you turn the board off and on.
So if when the board comes on, those green lights have to be lit for the relays. Go ahead and turn them off. So before you turn off the console, turn off the relays, you heard all the clicking back there. Now all the lights are off. And that is key for the preservation and life of your instruments, that when not in use, you do want these to be off. Being in Florida is key because of all the lightning storms we have. It's just another layer of protection for surges and whatnot. And then
So you would have to do that before you turn off the light board.
you do.
Where's the on and off switch to the light board itself?
It's the same button as it was before.
Okay.
So press and then you can press and hold the standby button. Because what we notice is standby turns off the board, but whatever look was left up stays there. And which is unfortunate, honestly. I wish I was a firmware upgrade or something that when in standby, I mean for you to be off and take the relays with it. That would be a little simpler mode of operation. Unfortunately, the console doesn't do that. So turn on with the buttons as you did before, and then the relays are there. And she's pressing 2 of them because what we plan on, the phone call I'll get is those movers are kind of loud. We're doing a quiet, we're doing maybe a quieter presentation or a quieter scene or a play that doesn't require them. We can turn those movers off independently to lower the fan noise in the house if you want. So I'm looking to make that change yet. There's some connectors that I'm having trouble finding in the back, but when I get those will be on a separate circuit. And then the first LED, or first relay is for everything else. So that has to be on. Good to go.
So the one on the right, is this for the movers?
It will be for just for the movers.
Okay,
So,
but not yet.
Yeah, not yet. So they do create, if you're sitting on the sides of the house, they do create it. They have a fan in them. All movers do, and most LED lights do. So it's just added fan and ambient noise. If you're not using the movers, you can turn it off.
Okay. And then so we showed you the beam, which is the shape of the light, and then the color wheel. To position, I have to have them selected. The position would be here, which is our pan and tilt. So our pan and tilt. Pan is left and right, and then our tilt up. Well, we're going
Opposite.
opposite.
Are they going opposite? Okay.
Yep, and down. So you can use this to position the mover anywhere. And another thing that I wanted to show you was with the effects. With the effects, they show at home. So home is down position. So when they turn on, they face down. When you do effects, they center usually at home. Now,
Meaning base that movement from that home position, which is not always ideal. And then the next, kind of like the next class, would be some more advanced. You can actually create your own effects and your own movements. So when she said that's a playback fader, meaning that I can store a series of cues. So these movements can be basically set points, and when you hit the playback fader, it's running through those set points and creating your own custom movements. You don't have to rely on this. This might not fit what you're after, and you want to keep the movement just in the house, then you can create like 4 points and it would just cycle.
And those are called sequences. So they are set up on playback faders, but they're called sequences, and they do light up a different color. So you know which ones are playbacks and sequences.
This is the area where you have that student that shows interest. Give them 20 minutes and they'll go nuts. That's like sheep.
I'd love to start that.
Okay. And is there anything else?
I think that's great. I'd like to go through the areas a little bit more.
The areas, okay.
I'll talk about, I want to kind of make sure what our intent was with the area lighting, and then you can bring up said areas.
Okay.
So, so basically, if you bring up like normal front.
Ooh, what did you do? What's that? What did that do? Okay. Yes. Nothing.
We could just clear and go to our playbacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, they're up now.
There we go. So on our playback, go to normal front. So she just brought up your normal front light, and then it's like, okay, well that's my normal front light, and now bring up a top, and then you can kind of quickly build a look. There's my top light. Do we have a white top?
We can add it.
We did. Okay, we'll do that.
We'll add it.
And then a blue psych.
That's green.
So now for whatever little presentation you're trying to
Oh,
do,
we can do white.
you can bring up your front, your top, and that, and or from those record your own playback that you can just recall anytime you want. So we're using 1 through 20, and that's what you see on the screen. 21 through 40, we'll leave open, and then you can fill up with whatever you want.
Cool.
Or for whatever presentation you're doing, you can record over them later. Oh, that's what we need to do. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about cues. Maybe we'll save the cues for drama.
Yeah.
Because all these people will be writing cues. You just want to come in, throw up some lights, and that's how you would do that. Look at the playback faders 1 through 20 and the labels, and you can just bring up a quick look.
Now 21 through 40 will not show on the display. So you will have to write something down if you want to remember it, or you can label it here. So that's the reason why we are using 1 through 20, so that you can see the labels and what we have done here.
Keep the board cleaner, and then 21 through 22 is like, there's several rolls of labeling tape I saw around here.
Yeah.
There you go. Take that in a Sharpie, and then you can create your looks for whatever, or write cues, and it has a full cue playback system as well. And then once you write your cues, you hit the go button, and then you just cycle through your presentation or production with that. So it's kind of, that's a whole.
Would it be fair to say that 10 has nothing?
Yes, 10 has
So
nothing.
if you wanted to add a 10, something you use more often, that's where you would add it. That's it. And if there was one of these at the bottom, you're like, yeah, thanks Chet for putting that in, but we don't like that one.
Yeah,
You could delete it, and we could put our own preference in there.
exactly.
You all would know how to do that?
Figure it out.
Well, I'll show how to
Well, there you go.
record
I
and
think, yeah, how to record one, I think that'd be good to show.
yeah.
Like right now, as you press the record button, boink, and then you press a playback fader,
Playback memory.
memory.
And with the playback, with recording a playback memory, you can write the text of what you want it to label, what you want to label it, and then you can also do the time. You can do up to 10, you can do up to 20. Right now, the default is 1 second. So, and then you press whatever fader you want. And the not used faders will light up green, as 10 is, and 28 through 32 for some reason.
There you go. You can rewrite, overwrite, or it will show you what's available.
Oh yes, yeah, and you can overwrite. So with the faders that you don't like about what we programmed, you can overwrite it with your own look.
So I'm saying go back to just the normal front. So
Just the normal font.
Just normal,
side,
okay.
yeah.
So the normal front, the way your stage, this gives you 6 areas of front light basically. So that combined gives you the full stage wash, which I think is going to be suitable for most things you do. But if you do something where you have students edge to edge on that stage, bring up the full wash. So now we have lights, additional lights on the poles and above that will light the steps, light the outside areas. So that would be the helpful. I know the high school I volunteer at, they put everybody on the stage and it's like that's it. So light the whole thing. But that can be really distracting when you're just doing a simple presentation and you're lighting sidewalls. So. And,
Ashley, I watch you walking, you fly through this, which is awesome. All these are already up, but the light's not on.
Okay.
You just like leaving them up, or?
Okay, so
That was funny, I was going to ask the same question.
so with that, so
good.
it's not like the soundboard as when you flip through certain pages, they go automatically. With these, you can take them down and they do nothing, or you can leave them up and they do nothing. But with the going back to channels, you can It's not automatic, so you have to have something highlighted for it to do something. With playbacks, you leave something on and they're already highlighted. They're automatically highlighted. So I can take this down and it. So then I'll leave the white psych on for them, and they highlight, and this one unhighlights itself.
So question,
Yes.
if we have a presenter come in and it's just, one of the 3 admin team and we need to light and I just want to make it light up there for them, what would I do? Because I see now they're all down.
Now
And
they're all
like
down.
Phil said, some of them are up or some of them down.
Yes.
What's the easiest way I need to light that?
You just flip a fader up.
Any one of those,
Any
that
one.
group, that first group is a
Yes.
fader.
Yes.
Can you show us right now?
Yes, could you give me a demonstration, please?
So there. So that's the normal front. And
Okay,
this is the full front, so that you have that down stage, like off the stage. Thing.
okay.
You have normal plus top light.
So that would be your look.
Okay, so I
Normal
want,
and top.
what I would want is the
Yeah,
2
normal
first
top.
ones down, the 3rd one up.
Yes.
That's how I think.
And
Write down 3.
3.
Great, there you go.
And then you have the psych included.
What if I wanted to give it a little color?
There we go.
The color.
Now you get.
So you have
I just
Are-
thought I'd ask.
red, green, blue.
On 15th, okay.
14, 15, 16.
3 up, and then I can mess with the ones on the other end.
There you go.
If you want to get tricky. But you did say something that wasn't necessarily, at least this is my understanding. You said 1 and 3. 3 is actually 1 already.
Okay.
Like, you wouldn't need to have 1 pushed and 3 pushed,
Right. I could just push up 3.
just 3, because it's 2 different.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do we have, is there a general concert section, like if we want to do a band, choir, orchestra?
We can make one. We haven't made one yet, but we can go make.
I would say 90% of the things we do in here are music that we would need a concert setting.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have one of those overwritten and put concert in,
Yeah.
maybe number 10.
Yeah, we can even do maybe
We could
maybe
just
1
do a
and 2.
speaker
We
one, and I
do
just have to push one.
presentation and then like presentation, and we do. Now your presentations or like assemblies, or would that be more like just a center area that would be?
I
there?
would think, wouldn't you guys, Ron?
Yeah.
I would think it would just be the center area. So I was thinking of like when composing came in and when our gentleman from ICLE came in, that's what we would want.
Just something really up in the front.
Correct.
Up in front.
Highlights.
And then do you stay on the stage or do you wander down to the floor?
Usually they stay on the stage.
Usually stay on stage. Okay. Okay. 'Cause for smaller, we even have a couple. Would you bring up? Take the front lights out and just bring up the floor center. Floor center. I don't think we created a sub floor actually.
No, we didn't.
There we go.
Floor center is 7-8.
There we go. So we put a couple of lights aimed at the center on the floor for those presenters
They
that
could stand.
exactly. So I know a lot of presenters that don't like to be up, but they want to be closer to the group, so they'll come down off the
Would
stage.
it be nice with cheat sheets over there?
But I think that's a good idea. Is maybe do like a concert,
If you come over and look,
a
it's not hard
concert
to
look
see.
and do a presentation.
Yeah, one that's we can go in and just
Okay.
pop it up and it's ready to go.
There we go.
I'll watch the class, I can see.
Can you like when you have all the down lights, can you show me what that looks like on stage?
So that's gonna be our normal front.
So I don't know if we'd want much front, right? Because then when the kids are looking up at the conductor, they can't
Just-
see a
just
thing
top
except for the lights.
Top light.
Yeah.
So just
I know he's
top-
after.
just top light.
Hey, let's talk with Mr. Ward, like Grant Wayne all the time.
Just on the- okay. Just push them up. There. Because we don't have a white.
Yeah, we'll have to create a white top. We were being too creative and then just leave a generic white top look, but we'll make this the sun. And then that's all your top light. Just top.
Okay. Could we get more on the sides too?
Is that with the sides?
That is not with the sides.
No.
Those are 215.
Well, that's from the front. So that's all the, let me rephrase it. That's all the top light that's available.
Sure.
Because you got this balance right here.
Yeah.
We can't get the lip of the stage. We miss the lip of the stage.
What we did is we cheated with the house lights. We made the front house lights able to be turned on.
And sure,
And
and
so
you
we can
can
do, that's what I had. So it brings up just that front row. It gives it a little bit more on the lip.
there you go.
Okay. Because I know that when my kids are sitting up there, it can be hard to see what's going on.
You're looking at your music, right?
Yeah, because they're getting some shadows on the sides.
So that for concerts and band, that would be top light with a little bit of front, so you can see them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And you can throw either white on the back would give them some more light, or
Yeah, we did that in colors too and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white on the back helps light the back. For
Does.
sure.
Is there any questions so far? All right.
I've asked Chad if he could kind of look into potentially coordinating this old system that are the house lights, because we're dealing with whole separate units there, and there may be a solution there.
There's definitely a solution. I'm really kind of surprised they did it. They gave you such great infrastructure, but they kept the two systems, which I find interesting because they both speak the same language. So it's just running a cable like we did with over here. It's just running a cable. Basically, your house light dimmer is back in that closet, and then your LED power relays are over here. We just got to run a wire from here to there, and then we can
Also, we
incorporate
have
that
the
in the
old
console. Up here, it's definitely advantageous to have integrated controls, but you would probably want that panel there, so when you turn off the console, you can bring the house lights up from in here, and not leave anybody in darkness. So that's what.
Would it be possible to get another one of those, a bigger panel like that for down on the stage? Because right now on the stage we just have 1 and 2.
Well,
Because I guess my
Yes.
thought sometimes is, if you're here running by yourself and you got to run a concert, can we? I don't know.
yeah.
Or even if there was just a box that had 3 settings that you could do.
Well, what was going through my head, there's actually a really neat little, let's call it a DMX playbacks panel. And you set whatever look you like, and then hit record, and now it stores it. And you can have infinite number of those presets that are labeled, which is really slick. And we can actually replace those panels that are there with that, and then you have control of house lights and stage lights from the one panel, which would be pretty slick. Probably keep these the same, because you just need entry lights when you walk into the room to turn the lights on, right?
Mhm.
But from stage, indeed, most stages do have a way to control the house and the stage lights. So that's something we can look at doing, sure. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. And then with the microphone and the iPad, you can
You can do everything just being
Yeah.
down there, yeah.
So that would also turn on your relays as well, because your relays is nothing more than a DMX channel that we're sending out.
Can you control the lights with the iPad?
Yes, actually. So I actually kind of want to talk to you about the priority of the rest of my visit, because one thing we noticed is that console isn't on the network. So if we put that console on the network, it opens up a realm of possibilities. For one, it has an interface with that little QR code. Now I can shoot that QR code, and its interface, I have a full remote right on here.
Wow.
Or my phone, or like who was talking about our AV network, the MVAV network. we'll put it on that network, you shoot that QR code, and now you got remotes right there. So
That would be better than something, well, I mean,
in conjunction with even, actually, and maybe the quick solution, so maybe we do need to talk about the priority of the rest of the trip. Because that would give you some additional functionality that you can leverage right now. And then, so before we do a dedicated panel on the wall, you could just use your phone and patrol and show right here. So that's true.
That would help you.
Or here.
yeah,
Or,
definitely.
or this. So, yeah, we'll look at that.